The emergency klaxons aboard Research Station Omega-7 had been wailing for 3 hours when Dr. Marcus Chen finally understood the magnitude of their mistake. The containment field around Cell Block X had failed catastrophically, and the galaxy's most feared predator, a void stalker from the Andromeda Nebula, had vanished without a trace. "How does something that size just disappear?" demanded Commander Vextai, his chitinous exoskeleton clicking with agitation. The Zenthari military officer had overseen the transport of the creature from the war-torn Kepler sector, where it had single-handedly decimated 3 colonial outposts. Marcus wiped sweat from his brow, studying the twisted remains of the reinforced containment unit. The molecular bonds in the containment field were designed to hold anything organic. But this thing— he gestured at the melted metal that had once been 6-inch thick duralloy walls. It didn't break out. It phase-shifted through. The research team had spent months studying the Void Stalker, a writhing mass of shadow and teeth that existed partially outside normal space-time. Standing 12 feet tall with appendages that could stretch across a room, it possessed the unique ability to slip between dimensions, making it nearly impossible to track or contain. Worse yet, it seemed to learn from every encounter, adapting its hunting strategies with frightening intelligence. "Sir," came a trembling voice from the communications console. "We're receiving reports from Sector 12. The stalker, it's moving through the civilian areas." Marcus felt his blood run cold. Sector 12 housed the station's families, scientists, support staff, and their children. "Evacuate immediately. All non-essential personnel to the escape pods." "All ready." "Tried, sir. The creature's blocking the main evacuation routes. It's hunting." For the next 6 hours, the Void Stalker moved through Omega-7 like a nightmare-given form. Security teams armed with plasma rifles and photon cannons found only empty corridors and the occasional smear of shadow on the walls. 3 more research blocks fell silent. The creature was methodically working its way toward the core systems. That's when Marcus made his decision. "I'm going to the human quarters," he announced, ignoring the alarmed chittering from Commander Vextai. "Dr. Chen, with respect, that's suicide. The creature has shown particular interest in human neural patterns. Our scan suggests it finds your species appetizing." Marcus nodded grimly. "Exactly why I need to lead it away from the others." He found his quarters on Deck 7 eerily quiet. Emergency lighting cast long shadows down the corridor as he sealed himself inside his modest living space. The walls were covered with images from Earth, photos of his daughter's graduation, his late wife's garden, the small cabin by Lake Tahoe where he planned to retire. The temperature dropped 20 degrees in an instant. Marcus turned slowly as reality seemed to fold in on itself near his bedroom door. The Void Stalker materialized gradually, its form constantly shifting between solid matter and something far more disturbing. Multiple eyes, if they could be called eyes, focused on him with predatory intelligence. "Hello there," Marcus said quietly, his voice remarkably steady. "I've been studying you for months. You're incredible, you know that?" The creature paused, tilting what might have been its head. It had expected fear, running, screaming, not curiosity. Marcus continued, slowly moving toward his desk. "You're not just a predator, are you? You're exploring, learning. Every time you phase shift, you're gathering data about our reality." He pulled out a small device, a personal communicator modified with quantum entanglement technology. "That's why you didn't just kill everyone immediately. You're trying to understand us." The stalker's form rippled, appendages extending closer to Marcus, close enough that he could feel the cold radiating from its impossible anatomy. "The thing is," Marcus said, activating the communicator, "I've been trying to understand you too." The device began transmitting on a frequency that existed partially outside normal space, the same dimensional variance the creature used to phase shift. "And I think we have something in common." For 3 more hours, Marcus sat in his quarters with the galaxy's most dangerous predator. He showed it images of Earth, played recordings of his daughter's voice, shared stories of human exploration and discovery. The creature listened with an intensity that bordered on fascination. When the rescue fleet arrived 12 hours later, they found Research Station Omega-7 intact but empty. The evacuation pods had deployed successfully, carrying all personnel to safety. In the station's database, they discovered Marcus's final log entry. The Void Stalker isn't malevolent. It's lonely. It's been traveling between dimensions for millennia, trying to find others like itself. The attacks on the colonies weren't predation, they were attempts at communication. It was drawn to humans because our neural patterns most closely match its own dimensional frequency. It recognizes in us the same curiosity, the same drive to explore and understand the unknown. I'm going with it, not as a prisoner, but as a companion. For the first time in its existence, it won't have to explore the universe alone, and for the first time in mine, I'll get to see things no human has ever imagined. Tell my daughter I love her. Tell her I'm exactly where I need to be. The search teams never found Marcus Chen or the Void Stalker, but across the galaxy, reports began filtering in of a strange phenomenon. Colonies on the edge of known space received visits from a shadowy figure accompanied by a human. They came not as conquerors, but as teachers, sharing knowledge of dimensional physics and showing isolated worlds that they were not alone in the universe. The galaxy's most dangerous beast had found something more valuable than prey. It had found a friend.